Welcome back to Field Goals and Forecast here on WSBU 88.3 The Buzz. Ryan Adio alongside James Derrick and Coach Neuheisel. Coach, how are you doing today?
I am wonderful hanging out with you enterprising lads. I can
it.
see stardom written on both of your faces.
Thank you. That's the greatest compliment I've got.
This is the beginning of something huge for these two, I can tell.
I absolutely love it. Well, you want to talk a bit about coaching. I mean, you're now in the UFL with the Renegades, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so talk to me a bit about how coaching has changed from when you started to now.
Well, coaching is the same in terms of imparting all the fundamentals and, the strategy and the creating the culture of a team and all that. None of that has changed. What has changed is the coming and going of players, right?
Yeah.
The transient, we're in a transactional time in this business. Now, pro football's always been transactional.
Yeah.
So there's nothing new there, but when you're in a pro locker room, they always wax poetic and nostalgic about their life in college with all their buddies, right?
Yeah, right.
And now we're getting that game to be more transactional than I think is probably healthy. But the game is still a wonderful game. I always say it this way: football's not complicated, people are.
Right.
And that's what we're watching in real time right now.
You're dealing with a lot of people when you're coaching as well. But you want to talk to me a bit about NIL? You kind of got out before.
We don't have
really
nearly
bad,
enough time to give you the saga of name,
I
image,
know,
and likeness.
but,
And name, image, and likeness is the term we use.
Right.
Yeah.
But really, we're talking pay for play.
Yeah.
And what's happened over the lifetime of college football is you had this big establishment known as the NCAA, where everybody put their hat in the ring and said, okay, we're going to keep our amateurism, we're going to keep it, and was trying to keep everybody alive, because not every school's created equal. Some have big resources, which was how you created the autonomous five, right? And some have lesser resources, but all had similar votes.
Yeah.
So as we kept going through the rules, those who had less money kept kind of keeping the common denominator down, right?
Yeah.
In terms of pay. Unfortunately, as the game grew and its popularity grew and the television markets grew and all that kind of stuff, you saw the pie getting bigger and the players were not getting their piece of it. And when it finally went to court, not necessarily as a player going to court, but some amateur student athlete going to court asking for resources so they could go to Europe and get an internship, that was the Alston case. The Supreme Court, in a time where I don't know if it's ever been more divided in terms of conservative and liberal, voted 9-0 against the NCAA. That triggered NIL. You couldn't hold that back any longer. That triggered transferring. Couldn't hold that back any longer. And we have this whirlwind of change that all at the same time is creating, as it's being dubbed, the Wild Wild West, which is why we don't have much in the way of consistency with our rosters anymore.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, like, I'm a huge basketball fan. I think of, Jalen Rose and those five at Michigan that played so well. Fab Five. They see, their jersey getting sold at a store, and they're like, why can't I get some of that? Of course.
The 1983 North Carolina State team sued to try because of all the Jim Valvano videos where they were coming out, Thurl Bailey and Lorenzo Charles, all those guys, and all the video the NCAA was using to promote their tournament, they sued.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I just want a happy ending where the players get their piece of the pie, the fans get the same game that we've been treated to for a lifetime, and we get some relationship with the kids and an alma mater that they look back on and say, that's where I went to school. That's where I made my best friends. That's where I met my wife. On and on it goes. We need that relationship, that touch point, so that we can have this kind of, just warm feeling when we talk about college athletics.
I mean, it's been difficult for a school like Bonaventure. I mean, our most successful athletes to ever come out of our school are four-year guys, where it's like
Bob Lanier.
Yeah, yes. Bob Lanier. I'm thinking of Andrew Nicholson. Guys that came in, maybe didn't play freshman year, and then kind of worked themselves up, and they learn kind of every role of being on the team, and then they're
How many
leaders.
students are at St. Bonaventures right now?
Oh, like 2,000 to 3,000, maybe.
No,
3,000.
not even.
It's probably 2,000.
By the end of a 4-year experience at St. Bonaventures, you know almost everybody you see on campus,
Exactly.
right?
Absolutely, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now imagine having to be there for a semester and leaving and going someplace else and having to go through that whole awkward get to know everybody and doing it again and doing it again. And you can understand how isolated you'd become.
Yeah.
One of the perks that all these players want when they go for these free agency deals is their own place.
Yeah.
Their own, I want to go live in my own. You're missing college.
Yeah.
You're missing the magic of college and the relationships forged. It's not a great deal.
Because they're more than just athletes. I mean, originally it was student athletes, and they kind of pulled the student out of it. I mean, you're seeing guys like Carson Beck. They interviewed him. They're like, "What classes you take?" And he's like,
I graduated 2 years ago. Yeah, I don't go to class. Well, everybody now wants to be Van Wilder, right, and stay for 7 years. We've got Joey Aguilar trying to stay at Tennessee for his 6th year of college.
Yeah.
We've got Trinidad Chambliss at Ole Miss trying to stay for his 6th year of college. And under the heading, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
not their fault. I would try. Diego Pavia profited from his
right.
last year, didn't
Yeah,
he?
he did.
Yeah, so listen, I get it, but while we're saying yes to them, there's another Trinidad, another Diego, another Joey that is being told you can't play because there's not a spot for you.
Yeah, right.
College is to matriculate, to move on, to create those memories and move on with your life. We've got to get our arms around this, but in the meantime, we just kind of shake our shoulders and hope for better days.
Yeah, I didn't mean to spiral off into an NIL talk.
Oh, I can talk on this subject for a while.
We better change the subject before it gets too late. But how did you kind of end up in the UFL with the Renegades?
So I'm a veteran of spring football.
Yeah.
I played in the old USFL back in 1984 when Herschel Walker was playing in the league and Doug Flutie was coming into the league, and Donald Trump was a team owner, the New Jersey Generals. I don't know if you've heard of Donald Trump, but
Passing.
But here's what the great thing about spring football is. It's a second chance. Whether it's a second chance to try to grab the brass ring of the NFL, or whether it's a second chance to say goodbye to football on your own terms.
Yeah.
It's a great deal, and it reminds us of team. I got 60 guys that are going to go to training camp, and all of them want to play one more year, and then they'll see. But they're going to get one more year on scholarship. Right, the amount they'll be paid is about the equivalent of a scholarship.
Yeah,
and you get to leave on your own terms, and you get to have the magic of that team experience one more time. And I did it in 2019 in the Alliance of American Football. I went and coached the Arizona Hotshots. Went and got a bunch of my old buddies from the coaching world that, kind of, hey, let's go have one more rodeo, right?
Yeah.
It's putting the band back together type of thing. We had a blast. And John Wolford, the quarterback from Wake Forest, he's still in the NFL. He's made probably $25 million.
Yeah.
And our kicker, Nick Folk, still in the NFL.
Yeah.
Those kind of chances you feel good about. You help give that opportunity. But the vast majority, you at least said, hey, I'm tipping my cap to football, and thanks for a great last ride.
Right. I mean, look at like Brandon Aubrey with the Cowboys. I mean, he
Exactly.
started in the USFL.
Exactly.
And now he's the greatest kicker in the NFL.
And we're going to now play in smaller stadiums where, like, we're going to be in the Toyota Stadium there in Frisco.
Yeah.
We now are going to have 11,000 people come to the game.
Yeah.
You can come down and call plays. Come down and help us. Come down and get on the field. Meet our players. It is an experience. It's an affordable experience. Some of these games have gotten crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the Super Bowl ticket going for this week, right?
That's a great
The
question.
bottom line is
Today or
this
tomorrow?
is football, old-fashioned style, kind you're going to love. Come and be a part of the Dallas Renegades.
I love it.
I mean, you just mentioned, fans come down, call some plays.
You guys are sold right now. I can already tell. I got you guys hooked.
Oh, I got
Hey,
you.
You guys are Renegade fans.
Well,
absolutely.
What's as someone who analyzes the game, you're a coach. What's something that fans get just wrong, dead wrong, most of the time when they're if I'm watching the TV and I'm screaming, oh, you got to pass the ball there or something like that. Is there something you think fans consistently don't understand?
Well, the thing that, and it's the greatest game because the television gives us so many great angles. We get slow motion.
Yeah.
It was an Army-Navy game back in the early 60s where we got introduced to slow motion. Slow motion shows us how incredible the athletes are.
Yeah.
Right? We see, and the game of inches, and you're mesmerized by the athleticism, by the speed, by the violence, by all of the stuff that happens. But our eyes follow the ball.
Yeah.
What fans get wrong is how much is happening away from the ball that is impacting what is happening on the game.
Mm-hmm.
And like, for instance, a defensive end. He's a first-round draft choice. He has no sacks. Myles Garrett. Let's just say Myles Garrett. He doesn't have a sack in that game, but it took a running back, a tight end, and a tackle to get him blocked.
Yeah.
Which takes your numbers down to 3 eligible receivers. And a defense that's only rushing 4 now has 7 in the back end for 3 receivers, and your chances of beating that team are small. You don't necessarily talk about that because Myles Garrett didn't get a sack, but he took everybody to his account.
Yeah.
And that's why we call the game a matchup game, because it's a math game. At its core, if everybody were equal, the mathematicians would win the game because they understand angles, they understand how to create 2-on-1s with the motions and the formations and the shifts, all of that. So it's a very intricate game. It's fascinating. It's how I got, Homer Smith, my old coach 100 years ago, said, "You're going to like this." And I've been mesmerized ever since.
Yeah, I mean, people always look at stats. They always point to stats. But you look at like a nose tackle, for example. They're eating up double blocks. They're getting the block from the backfield.
You take 2 to block 1,
right.
It goes back to math.
It
Who's got the
opens up.
advantage, right?
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's not shown in the stat sheet anywhere. But
the great Reggie White, speaking of spring football, Reggie White, Hall of Famer, NFL guy. You remember the Packers and the Eagles. He came in and slapped my arm as he was going by. I had Reggie White's handprint on my forearm for 4 weeks.
wow.
Oh my gosh.
I knew what ring size he had.
That's incredible. Well, I'm going to take you back. 1994, the Rose Bowl, right? You said David versus Goliath. That's correct? All right, perfect. What was going through your mind in that game? You were a huge underdog in that one. How did you keep yourself focused?
You're talking in '84 when I was the player.
84,
when I was the
excuse me,
player.
sorry.
It was Illinois versus UCLA. We were 7-point underdogs. And the reason we were underdog, we were 6-4-1. We started the season 0-3-1.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden rallied, got ourselves a Pac-10 championship at the time. And we were playing Illinois, and they were the first team in Big Ten history, I think, to have played everybody in the Big Ten. That's back when the Big Ten was 10 teams.
Yeah.
And had beaten everybody. And Mike White was their head coach. Jack Trudeau was their quarterback. And they were upset that they were having to play us because they wanted to win the national championship. Remember, national championships back then were mythical, right?
Yeah.
So they wanted to impress the pollsters, and playing us wasn't going to be the feather in their cap that they thought it should be. But here's the kicker. One of the graduates of the University of Illinois was a guy by the name of Hugh Hefner. Hugh Hefner was the Playboy czar, right?
Yeah.
And he had a mansion in L.A. 1 mile from UCLA's campus called the Playboy Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
He invited the Illinois football team to the Playboy Mansion.
Oh, man.
You can imagine being a UCLA guy.
Yeah.
1 mile, and we get no love, no credit, no visit. That tipped the scales.
We
were upset,
All right.
and we came out and beat them 45-9.
Killed them. That's an amazing game. But I just wanted to bring you back to that.
Rose Bowl. The Rose Bowl is still my Shangri-La. It's still the nirvana of college football. I wish we could figure out a way where that would be the end of the yellow brick road every year, that the national championship would be played there. Because somehow with this newfangled version of college football, we have to tie it to the past.
Yeah.
One of the great things about college football is tradition. And that's why alma maters are important. We could get tradition.
Yeah.
How you doing, my friend? That is absolutely a must. So I'm hopeful we can get the Rose Bowl to be the end of the yellow brick road.
Yeah, I love it.
That's an awesome story. But I mean, you just mentioned tradition. How do you feel about the new college football playoff format? I mean, it's a championship isn't quite as mythical.
I understand it wholeheartedly, and it's a money grab, right? I don't like that we're asking the fans to have to travel on Thursdays and Fridays to play just because we're afraid of going up against the NFL on the weekend for the advertising dollars. I don't like that we're not able to tailgate in the parking lots.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a fan game. Fans travel, and we're asking too much of the fans, and we can't keep pushing the season back as far. I mean, we got to remember kids are supposed to be going to school.
Yeah, exactly.
So we got to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, what are we really doing here? And is it all about a money grab, or should this all be about a higher education and these kids having some? I'm not naive to the money, and I'm part of the establishment that earns a living in this deal, so I'm not biting the hand that feeds me here. What I'm doing is saying, enough already. Let's get this under control and be college football and be happy being college football.
Yeah, I've got a couple more questions for you here. A lot of coaches fired in the NFL this year after really long tenures. I mean, you're looking at like John Harbaugh,
Right.
for example. What's your opinion on that? I mean, we're Bills fans here. Even Sean McDermott going was very surprising to us.
And it's when the performance has been as stellar as those guys,
Right.
Yeah.
it's hard to imagine that somebody would be doing it. But I learned this from Steve Mariucci, the old 49er coach. He said to me, he said, coaches should be like political office. And you should get a term, 4 years, and then if you do well, you should get reelected. But there should be term limits.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there's a point in time when you're no longer appreciated.
Yeah.
The expectation level gets to a point, and that can make coaches cantankerous. That can make you get it. What do you want from me? And I think it's great for John Harbaugh to get a fresh start. The Giants are excited to have him. It'll be great for Sean McDermott to get to go do this again, and that will happen within a year.
Right.
These guys have proven that they're the best, and yet for the teams that are starting new, they get a fresh start, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
So I understand it. I think term limits is the appropriate way to do it, and I thought he was genius when he said so.
Yeah, I like that actually. That's a smart analogy.
What's it like hopping in first year as a head coach? Harbaugh's going to have to do it with the Giants.
Well, excuse me, I'm taken up for Bob Stoops, a Hall of Famer, so there's a little pressure there. But we drafted a whole new team. So it's a whole new culture. Everybody's starting from scratch. And in so doing, that's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting. Who gets to put it together first? And it's like Christmas morning. We got the toy set. Now your dad's trying to figure out, hey, we're missing a piece here, right?
Yeah, right.
We'll figure it out. But hopefully the Dallas fans are as excited as we are, and we're going to put on a good show.
All right, last question for you. You're here at Radio Row, Super Bowl 60, Seahawks, Patriots. Who you got, and what do you think the score is going to be?
Well, obviously, both great stories. I think Mike Vrabel has stamped himself as one of the really top coaches.
Yeah.
Mike McDonald, who's a Harbaugh guy.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, John loaned him to Jim to be the defensive coordinator at Michigan before taking him back.
Yeah.
I hate, if you get to this point, you hate not to finish the job.
Yeah.
But it's hard to not love the Sam Darnold story.
I agree.
And because I'm an old quarterback and love those who battle back from adversity, for Sam Darnold to be in this situation says everything about his character and about his resolve and what he is in that locker room, what he means to his teammates. I got to be for the Seahawks. And plus, I lived in Seattle. I got too many friends. If I said anything other than that, let's go Hawks.
All right, well, that will do it here. Thank you, Coach. We'll be rooting for the Renegades come the spring, so
you better be.
I hope to see you.
Because I'll come looking for the
I better be calling some plays, to be honest.
Yeah, get us down. We'll call some great plays.
All right, gentlemen.
That will do it here on
Stars
Field Goals
of the
and Forecast.
future, right here.
Thank you. I appreciate it a lot.
Take care.
We'll see you in a little bit.